Welcome, 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 welcome.
Joe.
Joe made it to Wild and Weird Radio Live, everybody. And boy, do we have a heck of a show. Let's get a huge recognition for our super chatters out there who really supported the show. Theresa of Theresa's Haunted History, Adam Good, Dewey Edwards, James Boggs, Spooky Appalachia. This one's dedicated to you because it's going to be a really cool show. Joe, glad that you can make it.
Yeah, it kept kicking me out. I was trying to get in the room since probably 2 till, and it would go to loading and then boot me out of the room.
I'm going to say it's probably aliens.
Yeah, at this rate, probably.
I mean, going on this week, I'm going to say it's probably aliens because that seems to be the logical explanation, right?
Right.
Everybody, let's get out there, get this thing shared out to everybody, all your friends and your enemies. It doesn't matter. I mean, if your enemies, they ain't going to watch it anyway. So, hey, Joe just got himself knocked off the air again. But yeah, let's get it shared out because, man, do we have some cool stuff to go over. We actually are going to be going over some live evidence review. That's pretty much never been done as far as we are concerned. Anyway, we've never did it. So this will be a really cool thing. We were part of an investigation / demonstration last night, and we'll talk a lot more about that here in a second. But we had some great people with us, and a few of them have joined us and will be joining us throughout the evening. And I worked all day pulling out little bits of data and trying to get us something to where we could actually go over for this episode. So, and it literally was right up to the last minute. But we do have some stuff to go over, and it's going to be really cool. So let's wait. Here comes Joe back in.
Yeah,
okay,
booted me out
back.
again.
He's back. You might end up having to restart, like completely. It's happened to me before.
Maybe one of those Skinwalker Ranch hitchhikers followed him home.
Yeah, right.
Could have been that one dude, right? The Air Force guy. He liked you.
Oh yeah, the one I fixed his uniform.
He liked you. What can I say? Joseph, take care of the folks out there in the audience and make them feel welcome. And just want to let you. Yeah, go ahead.
Where's everybody at? All righty, we got the Deuster out there. We got James Boggs hanging out with us. We've got multiple messages from us for whatever reason. Pat joined with us. Sky Daddy McConaughey would never take anyone who wouldn't want to be taken. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Fishbelly's in the house again. Theresa's here with us. Well, little more
obviously
one.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Spooky hanging out there with everybody. Chris Coots is in the room.
Hey, Chris.
Anita Allen is here.
Anita.
She swears it's not aliens.
It could be.
And I think that's everybody right now. At least
everybody right now? All right. So let's get this thing shared out. I shared it out on over on the board. I'm going to go share it real quick over on my personal page, and we'll get this thing started. Joe, why don't you give a little background on what we did last night?
Well, last night was the St. Albans Paranormal Discussion Group's monthly meeting. And there was an open investigation night over at the Nitro War Museum. Anybody who's familiar with World War II and World War I history would know that, a lot of these boom towns came into existence. And Nitro is just one of those. And there's a museum there dedicated to the war efforts and the history behind all of that there in the local area, and it was a pretty good time. So they broke off, was it 2 or 3 teams?
It's like 3 or 4 teams. I'm not really sure. We couldn't follow all of them. We had Pat, who was our camera guy for the night, and that was awesome. But he followed us mostly, and that's cool because he really couldn't do much else. And we documented quite a few little things on our end. So I can't wait to hear what some of the other people had experienced because I heard some stories during the debrief before we left.
Bigfoot, Littlefoot's in the house.
Bigfoot, Littlefoot, welcome, welcome, welcome. We didn't see Bigfoot last night.
No. If we would have, it would have been very concerning.
It would have. It would have proven a few theories. Adam Good's at it again.
The sponsor.
There he is. There he is.
The sponsor is in the house, guys.
We pretty much considered Adam at this point an investor. Yeah. He's a shareholder.
Yeah, he's a shareholder.
He's a shareholder in Wild and Weird at this point, I'm pretty sure. So far, we've got a couple of people with us. We have a few more on the line who are going to try to... Hey, welcome, East Tennessee.
McCullough.
How goes it? How goes it down your way? How's the air?
Any smoke down your way? I'm pretty sure if you were in the northern part of the country, you've all been on Facebook at least once and seen somebody make a post about smoke.
I couldn't be on Facebook
we all can't
today.
See it.
I couldn't be on Facebook today because I was too busy editing video. I'm getting pretty fast at that.
I'd hope so. It's been a long process getting the kinks worked out.
Yeah. So, the podcast will be going up normal
Sarah
tomorrow.
Ramsey, how you doing?
Welcome. So, guys, before we go into this, let's just real quickly go over the play-by-play, the weekly disclosure debrief. What's the sit rep?
Well, the sit rep is there's a whole lot of discontentment. There's a whole lot of frustration.
Discontentment, or is it disinformationment? Which one is it?
It's hard to tell.
I know.
But I know for sure there's a lot of discontentment within a holy
James
crap
Boggs,
amount of
$10. Thank you, James Boggs.
James Boggs, man, we
Adam off
really
his
appreciate you.
Oh, man. By the way, you guys are mentioned actually on the official website as sponsors. I just want to let you know that. It is
anybody who donates the way you guys
clearly
do,
there.
We
seriously appreciate you guys.
Yep.
You're paying for the show, and
That's
bless
true.
you. So, there's a lot of stuff that's actually going on, and it's kind of weird. I mean, to be honest, and my weird level, it's got to be really up there before I say it's weird. But it's kind of weird because we've got people talking about possible time travelers now. We've got to put that back on the table. We've got 6 months, basically deadlines to get this. If you've got recovered off-world technology, you've got to kind of come forward and share. I guess at this point, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Stargate was a documentary more than a science fiction show at this point.
I'm waiting for that old story about Nixon taking that actor around and showing him the alien bodies back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. You are waiting for that, aren't you?
I'm waiting for that to come back.
Yeah, it was Gleason.
Yeah, Jackie Gleason, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took Jackie Gleason. So, yeah, it's getting really weird, and we're watching it. I mean, we're watching it since last Friday. We thought something was going to break last Friday, but apparently it's going to be this week. So let's see what they give us in the morning, because it's going to be very interesting. We need to get Richard
He
Dean
says we need to
Anderson
get
on this.
Richard Dean Anderson in on this.
Nah, he's too busy fly fishing, man. You know how the mythos goes. Adam Good is at $9.99. Thank you, Mr. Adam Good, for $12.98 for the night, and that is there's probably some significance in that number. You want to look at that.
Adam is the sponsor. There's been a couple donations come through. I mean, the choffers have been passed and collected, and yet to see a blessing bestowed.
Well, yes, the blessing must be bestowed. It has been earned, and then some. It has been done. Guys.
Chad says he'd rather get Amanda Tapping to look into it.
Well, I'm hoping for like I said, a Stargate reunion at this point, and I hope that it's live at Area 51 or something. Yeah, it's reality TV this time. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, let's think about all the shows that are possibly real now. I got the X-Files, Stargate, Star Trek. What was that one
Terminator,
show called?
Terminator. That's what you're thinking.
What was that one where they used to jump through the wormholes and go back in time and stuff?
Oh, that was Sliders.
Sliders, yeah.
Sliders
Might be real.
Multi-dimensions. Yeah, that's right. Multiple realities. That may be what we're looking at, guys. Honest to goodness, that may be what we're looking at. And man, it's crazy. Science fiction has turned to science fact. And this is just
It's a bizarre time to be alive.
It's a bizarre time to be alive. And it's like, it makes me so happy because it's like, I told you so.
Yeah. Back in the day, black holes were actually sci-fi.
They were.
Until a scientist found one day, and they're like,
yes.
Real.
Yes. Well, anyway, so quantum leap. There you go. Let's hope we don't.
Oh Lord.
Let's not hope have we that don't. Ending. Don't do that.
I would get stuck in the quantum leap.
Yeah, let's not do that. Never find our way back home. That's a great ending. Anyway. Everybody, looks like we got enough people to get this show started, Joseph.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's get some guests in here.
Terry McCullough says, I hope Falling Skies wasn't a documentary. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Close Encounters might have been.
Close Encounters was.
Yeah, Close Encounters has been...
We're pretty sure that was.
Conspiracy train for decades as being government funded. And that Spielberg was given secret information to leak. We covered that in Assimilation way back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. All right, are our guests ready? Do you think we're ready to bring them on deck?
Yeah.
All right, first up, the sponsor, the Adam Good. Second up is Theresa Racer of Theresa's Haunted History. And it looks like Adam might be frozen.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, that's just his look. That's just how he looks.
That's great. That's awesome. How'd you pull that off?
Yeah, I'm telling you, StreamYard's
weird.
It was kicking me out too.
They're onto us.
What is that?
Oh.
Well, Microsoft just posted a poll for me to answer. I'm not going to do that. There's some weird stuff going on. Hey, Adam, you want me to remove you and let you try to pop back in? Can you hear us?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Let's go ahead and remove him. All right, let's get him to pop back in.
So, Theresa, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Where is Adam? Let's try it again. Okay.
Pat says Adam needs an internet upgrade. Yeah, if he would quit donating to the show, he'd probably be able to afford that. I mean, we might have to invest in that for him.
Not sure what just happened.
I tell this area, this side of the river's internet's acting wonky today.
It's very weird. Very, very weird. So, Angie is supposed to join us at some point, but we had an investigation / workshop / demonstration / we all just got together last night, went down to the Nitro War Museum and brought a little bit of everything that we had and conducted a few experiments. And some of us got some interesting results. Wouldn't you say, Theresa?
Yeah, I definitely say that we got some interesting stuff.
Yeah, we got some interesting stuff that happened out there.
Which was actually some really to me.
Is there, Theresa? Is there anything covering your microphone?
Something's up.
I don't think so.
You have it connected to like a Bluetooth speaker or something?
Even more weirdness is going on.
It sounds like the microphone's like 100 feet away from you.
It really does. And we had this, you've been on the show before. That's the weird part.
Fine.
Oh, that's weird.
Let me
What?
go back here and I'll get on my laptop using the
Okay. All right.
Try
see
that.
in a second.
Yeah.
Welcome
So,
to the
guys,
miracles of live streaming.
I know, right? Welcome to the live show, guys. we have Adam.
it's the live show, but there's some weird stuff going on tonight. I mean, I'm going to go get the frequency, the spectrum analyzer, and see if we've got any weird signals coming through. No, I'm kidding. I'm not.
I was gonna say your signal is not the one messing up.
It's over 1.6 gigahertz.
Look,
Adam,
we got
Adam's trying to
Adam.
come back in.
Adam's trying to come back in, but it's not letting him.
Yeah, it's not recognizing his camera. Oh, there he goes. He's disappeared again.
What is going on out there? This is crazy.
Spooky says it happens to us on every live show too.
Well, it's a first for us like this.
You the X-Files music.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
I know, right? Well,
We've had multiple people having
That's-
issues coming in just to get started.
that's just
Yeah.
weird. Well, anyway, so till they get it all straightened out, we went down and we were, what's he saying? Hang on.
Oh, there he is. Adam, how we doing?
Much better this time.
There we go.
There we go. We got you this time. We got you this time.
The
Guys,
Aussies
we
and back
need a
were
P-
coming
we
after
need
him.
PNG, Adam.
Yep.
All right, so you're here. All right. Now, if we can get Theresa back, we'll be, in the game again. So we'll see what happens. So,
Apparently, Spooky is eating a giant stake.
very strange. Very, very strange. Anyway, guys, so we had a very interesting opportunity, and we went into it more as, well, let's kind of show people, the ropes. Let's get them familiar with some of the equipment and, take it down and let them see how we kind of run with things and whatnot.
There
And-
were a lot of new people too.
There were a lot of new people, and I really hope there's some new people here who were there, at least who get to see this. Maybe not in real time, but at least you're getting to see this at some point, because there was a lot of I think there was a lot of lessons. I think there was a lot that was learned. Let's put it that way, because we had everything from what seemed to be validation to some really strange occurrences out there.
It was incredible.
Oh, check it out. Your fans here.
My fan. I know. All of them.
That's great. That's absolutely great. So yeah, we don't know what's going on with the signals tonight, guys. We're really not
Yeah.
sure. But just kind of bear with us,
I
because
blame the
that's
Canadian smoke.
it. May be the Canadian smoke. I
You
don't.
guys know there's
know.
smoke outside?
There's smoke outside?
Right?
Wow.
I know some people are in the middle of the fires right now, so God bless them.
Are you guys hearing this?
Yeah, it's his.
He's a Cylon. He's a Cylon.
It's that 1.6 gigahertz.
What is going on? This
Do I need to play with the game or something?
No, it's actually something with the digitizer.
I don't know what's going on.
Maybe
Adam.
unplug the mic and plug it back in at the base.
Yeah, try that. Try that. So basically, we're trying to overcome these technical hurdles in real time, which is very interesting. And how's that?
Well, Adam's frozen again.
Oh, geez.
He's making the same face as last time.
I know it's the same exact face.
How bizarre!
Like, he
That's
must
absolutely
notice
bizarre.
that he froze the first time, because that is
Weird, because he literally froze in the
happened.
it's in the exact same position. That's the weirdest part about it.
Adam is a screen
This is
memory.
awesome.
This is crazy, dude.
Yep, Adam
What?
has a screen memory. I'm convinced now.
He's a screen. He's not real. Yeah, he's not real. Anyway,
That's what was actually in the reflection was actually him, his real
Yep.
face.
and he's out again. So anyway, let's look at some of this stuff. Do anybody want
Is
to?
it because I'm here?
I don't know, man.
You've been on every show, and we've
I don't
never
think
had
so.
This craziness.
I don't think so. No, I'm not sure what's going on out there, but there's some.
Deuster says the Colombian smoke is much better. Can confirm, Deuster. Can confirm.
Okay, so he says I'm alive and
That's what I'm thinking,
backstage.
too. It sounds like there's a bad ground on something going on. At least with
Yeah.
that microphone. I'm with you there.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. But we try to bring him in, and it's just this frozen image of him
Oh,
now.
Nope.
No, he's just
How
a
do you move?
frozen. He's a frozen image.
Adam says I'm alive in backstage. Okay.
Yeah, he's out there in a multiple universe kind of way. So
Hey, Adam, could you try joining on your iPad?
yeah, that's an idea. iPad, phone,
Yeah.
something like that.
Either one.
Same way, Theresa. Give that a shot too. If you can't get it to work any other way, it's very bizarre what's happening out here.
Yeah, because I think if try to bypass that signal all
There's
the
Adam.
way together.
Adam's trying to come in.
Because
All right, ground control to Major Tom.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, the
What's that?
audio's fixed.
Yes,
Okay.
we have you. Now, if we can get Theresa, we'll have the whole band together and start singing Kumbaya, I guess. And
No.
no.
Not singing.
James said he put the juju on Adam for outbidding me.
Oh, that's what happened. Intentions, guys. You got to be careful with that energy stuff.
Dude,
All right.
That's in Dogman.
There we go. That's it.
Not doing it. Not doing it.
That's him. That's what's going on.
God bless us, God Daddy, Matthew McConaughey, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Sky Daddy has blessed us, and
Hey,
Theresa
we-
has returned. Let's see if that works.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
beautifully.
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey. He did it. Matt did
My
it.
daddy.
He did it. Okay, everybody, we got it now. Theresa, now that we can actually hear everybody, and Adam's here, and he's actually animated and moving, and he's not just some weird tulpa.
Oh, I got my tulpa here.
No, just you. That's fine. We're
By the
good.
way, James, for you, for being the first gold level sponsor for tonight, I'm going to be sending you one of these in magnet form. So get in contact with us, get us your address, and we'll slap a magnet and paint this one up, and it's coming your way.
It'll probably be cursed. Anyway.
Only
Have
blessings.
your electronics
My daddy.
somewhere.
Yeah, that's it. Make sure everything works. That's good. Okay, so let's go over some of this stuff. Angie said she doesn't know if she'll be able to make it. Dave Roberts was there, but Dave's not going to be able to make it as well. So it's just going to be us, I think, for now. So we had some experiences, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
So, Theresa, you want to go over some of your findings? I've got some video clips here from our end, but fill us in.
Well, like I was saying before I had to leave, when I heard the initial claims of activity, way back for the very first time, I was like, this. I really want to get in there. This place has a lot of history. It has a lot of potential, but I think we can probably debunk a lot of stuff that's happened. So I was pleasantly surprised that it seemed like pretty much everybody that was there had something happen, even if it was something small. But I was in a group. We started off in the back room, which was an office storage area of some uniforms. And we were running the S box. I was with a couple of members of West Virginia Unseen, Jess and Eric, and they were running a flashlight session. And it really seemed like we were communicating with somebody back there. We were kind of asking questions, and along the lines of we were assuming that whatever was there was probably a soldier attached to something that was there. And the questions that we asked, it seemed to kind of confirm that's what it was. But then a little bit later on, we moved to the other side of the storage area behind where the big horse was. And we decided that, we weren't getting a whole lot of activity at that point. So I was like, well, okay, I don't want these people who are new to this to be bored. So I was like, well, let's try an Estes method. And Cindy, one of the volunteers who was the one who actually set this up with Angie and invited us to come out and investigate, she's like, oh, I want to do it. I want to try. And we're like, okay, awesome. So we set her up with the spirit box, S box. We had her close her eyes, we had her put on the headphones so we could ask questions, and she couldn't hear what we were saying. All she could hear was the radio stations going through. And she told me before that we did this, she's like, yeah, I think I'm a little bit empathic. So we're like, oh, okay, great. Then you should be really good at this. So we told her what to expect, what to listen for. And at first, like, nothing was happening. And we're like, man, something's going on. Well, the box was on the wrong setting. It wasn't actually scanning. So as soon as we hit scan, it was like nothing that I have ever seen with the S-Box Estes method before. Every question that we asked, and we tested her, we were snapping in her face and stuff. She couldn't hear anything we were saying. She had that thing, the volume all the way up and the headphones on. She could not hear what we were saying. Every single question that we asked, she responded with a direct answer. And it sounded like, we're like, who are we talking to? They said it was a man named Pete. And we're like, okay, Pete, would you prefer Pete or Peter? The next thing she said, Peter. So that was, really kind of interesting that she was answering these direct questions. And that kind of happened a couple of times. We didn't want to keep her under for too long, especially since this was her first time. So after a while, Peter or whoever we were talking to seemed to kind of pull back a little bit. And it seemed like we started getting some questions about an entity that Jess is familiar with. And if she was here, she could, I don't want to tell her story, but, she's an investigator with West Virginia Unseen. And they had done another investigation in Nitro. And this little girl, 12-year-old little girl, was murdered nearby. Her body was found back at the old high school, which was almost right behind where we were. And some of the stuff that was coming through the box sounded like it was this girl that she knew. So everybody kind of took a little break for a few minutes. And then she and I and a couple other people went back to the back room to see if we could confirm that this girl was actually with her. And at this point, I didn't know anything about the case. So I didn't know names, dates, anything. Just puts on the headphones and does the spirit box Estes method first. She gets some kind of interesting responses. After about, between 5 and 10 minutes or so, she rips them off and she hands it to me and she's like, okay, your turn. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I put it on and immediately I start hearing a female voice come through, and it's the same female voice.
Wow.
And I don't know what questions they were asking, and they still haven't told me what questions they asked, so I have no idea. But they finally pulled me out of it, and everybody was like shook up, and they're like, okay, we're done. And I still don't know what happened. I know they said the one guy was close to tears.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe they told you all, because I would love to hear.
They showed up over while we were just ending the session by the vehicle, right, Adam? Mm-hmm. And they showed up. And Jess was just shaken, completely visibly shaken. And she was just like, she had this experience and it wasn't good. That's all she would tell me. It just wasn't good. There's something really not good over there. And then during the debrief, that's when we got the full story of what apparently had happened over there, which is just crazy. So for those who don't know what the SD session is, that's a blind experiment.
It's a double blind experiment.
Yeah, it's a double.
Closing your eyes,
literally.
And you're wearing soundproof headset, and the only thing that is coming through is noise canceling headset, and the only thing that's coming through that signal is random radio signals,
which should just be random radio signals, right? I mean, that's the logic tells us that should just be random radio signals, right, guys?
Correct. Mm-hmm. But the theory behind it is that these entities, whatever they are able to influence the hardware for whatever reason. The electronic hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And that they can cause certain stops along the signal where words are going to come out, and essentially it could speak through the person using those radio signals.
Yeah, right, exactly. And to give you an idea of what that sounds like, you know me, I have the RTEVP here, which is we employed this last night, by the way, and you'll get to hear what it recorded over near the car, which was very interesting. I will say that, but I'm going to just put this into the scan mode and let you guys hear it. Those who don't know what we're talking about, because I mean, some people, they have no clue. They hear this stuff on some of these shows and they really don't know what it is. So this is what we're hearing, and I'm going to turn the volume down so it doesn't blow our ears out here. So bear with me.
I was going to say last week it was loud.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully I learned from my lesson last week. Okay. Okay, so it's scanning right now. It's going from 76 megahertz to 86.9. I've got it on that frequency. I like this because you don't get as much actual radio waves. It's a little lower, but you can still hear stuff in there. So essentially, this is what they're hearing, except for they're hearing voices come over this, right, Theresa?
Yeah.
And those voices are actually corresponding to the questions that are being asked, which is, I mean, I don't know how to explain that. So if someone wants to explain that to me, I'm more than willing to go with that, because I've been trying to wrap my head around this method for a very long time. And I'm going to try to find a different frequency range for you guys to get you more familiar with. Here we go.
Like I said, I've done a lot of these, and I've seen a lot of people do them, and
Not
they'll
quite
just say
like that.
such random stuff, and a lot of it you can tell is the radio.
Yeah.
But when Cindy did it, I swear I've never seen that happen before. Everything she said was a direct answer to what we had asked.
But even if it's the radio, this is what people don't really get, because there's a lot of skeptics who are like, it's just a radio. Okay, that's cool. I'll buy it. That's just a radio. But what are the coincidences of a radio saying, these words at that exact same time that you're asking this question? Or more importantly, with this session, someone interpreting what that radio is saying, right? I mean, so there's a lot going on here. It's not just, listening to static and picking out words, especially with this method.
It's another form of divining.
It kind of is. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, that's kind of
modern techno divining.
Techno divining, is that a word?
Wow. It is now.
It is now? Okay, well.
Yep, trademark that bad boy.
All right, we're on it. I've got it. Man, hang on. I'll call the lawyer.
Scott Eddie and divining.
Oh, gosh. But, Joe's taking command of the Sky Daddy.
Uh-oh, guys.
He who controls the Sky Daddy controls the world. Be warned.
Fantastic.
All right, so here we go.
This is more accurate to what you would generally do. We have a wider radio system.
There you go.
Now, this is the So this is the way that we actually conducted the one at the deep end when we got the supposed hit with what we interpreted was a minor. We got some pretty direct results. I mean, we were getting, script and all these other words. And honestly, we didn't even make out the word script until we heard it like 5 times. This thing literally said script like 4 or 5 times before we got it. And then after we got it, Travis puts the money on the floor and says, pick it up. And then we register a thermal hit on the actual coin that's on the floor. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know what to do with that, because I can give you a couple of coincidences, but that's multiple validation. And when we get that, I can't just turn away from that.
Well, when you got the thermal hit with those coins, with the script there, it wasn't just a normal thermal hit because the coin continued to heat after it was placed on the ground. You could visibly watch it. Now, the other coin was
cooling
warm
off
from his touch, but when they both went on the ground, one stayed hot, the other didn't.
That's right. And even remember when Dave even put his finger down there and he like touched the coin to see if he could transfer heat to it, and we could still measure, it just dissipating off after it heated up, and then it just dissipated right off. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's data.
For everybody that was there last night, they got to witness us replicating a version of that while using the laser.
Yes. And I've got that clip, Joe. Actually, let's pull that up, and I want you guys to see this because we did get something really interesting. We go in, and again, to us, it was more like a workshop, but hey, there's data there. So we're going to collect that data. And I think we did get actually a bit of data from this, and you be the judge of it. We just went down from 200 to 50s. It's actually dropping instead of rising. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, but there's definitely something that's affecting the microwave energy right here in this room. And it happened as soon as that laser grid turned on. It literally happened as soon as that laser grid turned on. We had a baseline there, which was kind of high, to be honest. But when the laser came on, it started dropping. And it dropped down to like below 50 from what I remember. Well, we got a actual drop. And what's more significant...
Opposite of what that device would do.
Yeah, it was completely different, and it was microwave. I want to just make that clear. I was measuring microwave RF radiation at the time when we were doing that. I don't know. I mean, I can maybe give you when it went up, but what would have made it go down? And especially as soon as that grid came on, no idea.
The location that we're in was a Nitro Wars Museum is what it's called. And it's Nitro, the town of Nitro is a boom town, meaning that they manufactured munitions for the war effort. And so there's a ton of history there, and this is just a museum there in the little town dedicated to the war effort.
Yeah, it literally, the town of Nitro literally was born, I think, in 1917?
Yeah.
And it was, by act of Congress. An emergency act of Congress, because here we went to war and didn't have enough ammunition to fight a war. So they had to do an emergency session of Congress and approve this bill basically to create, I think it was 3 explosive plants or something. It was one here, and I forget what the other 2 were, but I know they ended up making 2. But it was originally supposed to produce 500,000 pounds of explosive a day. That's what this thing was for. And so the whole town literally just springs up. 110,000 people descend in this little area. It's all a government thing. I mean, the government built Nitro. And where we were at, it was literally right beside where ground was broken for that plant.
Let's not forget that the nitroglycerin and explosives that were made there were shipped down to Point Pleasant.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
so,
dude. There's a lot. There's a lot that ties in.
I just had to push that in there.
Yes.
Well, the TNT bunkers had to get TNT from somewhere.
Well, they got components from it. Yeah. But the thing being is we got a lot of history. That's what I'm getting at in this area. And I've been there before. I mean, one of the first places we investigated back with Ghost Watch, and I think it was back in like 2011, 2012 or something, was the funeral home down there. And I got some really good results down there. Direct.
Next door to where the museum is.
Literally next door. Literally next door right now is a crematorium, but, it's got stuff in it too. I mean, I hear reports all the time. But I remember standing out by the crematorium one night talking to Roger before going home. This is back when I used to work at the old pet shop there. And I was looking down the street, and as we're standing there talking, I swear I saw somebody walking near the train tracks, and they walked halfway across my field of vision and just evaporated.
I remember you calling me as soon as that happened too.
That was the craziest thing. One of the craziest things I think I've ever seen. I mean, I couldn't explain it. I tried to rationalize this. I'm like, I couldn't. There's just no way I could, because it was just dark enough to where you couldn't make out, great, detail or anything like that. But it was bright enough to where you could see that wasn't a person, because, they were just like walked, and just as they were walking, they just faded away, just like someone turned them down. It was the craziest thing, man. So yeah, that whole area's got some wild history.
So, Adam, what were some of the experiences that you were able to observe?
Well, there were a couple really good ones. I'll start with where we were filming with that little bit of film that Ron just showed. It's the lesser of two tales, but while we were there, I had, what was the device that you gave me?
You had a mel meter.
No, okay.
EMF meter.
Okay. I just couldn't remember.
It was set to milligauss.
And I kept going around the area, and it kept on jumping around the mortar, but it really was jumping around this flag of the Germans.
A certain flag.
Yes.
That we can't show.
Nor, I think, should we say.
Yes. I'm not even going to give it power. Exactly.
And around this flag, and I kept on testing it while you were doing your thing over in your area while they were filming, and I would bring it back and forth, go up and down, just go everywhere with it, and it kept on rising at this particular point, kind of 2 points really. And I mentioned it kind of out loud a couple of times, and whenever you all started talking to the area, the thing that got really spooky was you kept on using English towards it. And I just thought, well, just in case that this is German language, I tried Guten Tag, and it jumped.
What did it jump to, Adam?
It jumped up to what? 3.6 was the highest.
What was the baseline that you were reading before that, Adam?
0.2.
Right. So it actually jumped three decimal points higher than its background, and that's pretty significant, because we went in there and we did baseline readings. We knew where all the baselines were in this building. Like, that was one of the coolest things, because we took the whole team, everybody in there, and just said, yeah, okay, go. And basically they all just scattered, grabbed some equipment, and we all scattered, and we just did this massive sweep. I don't know, Theresa. I think that's probably the fastest baseline reading I've ever seen with a group. What about you?
Yeah, they did a really great job getting the baselines of that whole place done.
Well, my tale's not done, but this is.
Oh, I know. Keep going.
I'm sorry, Theresa. But after that, I waited a few seconds, and it kind of went down to like 0.1. And I said, "Ein Reich," which is a very political thing to kind of say in that region at a certain time with that certain flag. And it just dropped down to 2.2. And find out later, whenever we turned all the lights on, we were starting to walk out and look around with the lights on. Where it had jumped up to was where they, in the display, we were on the other side of the display, on the other side of the display, in the cabinet, we were on the back side of it, were two lampshades made out of human skin made in the concentration camps in, was it Dachau?
Dachau. It was Dachau, yeah.
It was Dachau.
And, very tragic, horrific type things. And,
And we had no idea that those were even there. Let's make that clear. We didn't until we walked back around and was like, oh my goodness, here they are. We'd heard about them, but we didn't know that's where those were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't look like, traditional
What you think?
steak.
Mm-mm.
Clearly, they're made from human skin, but
They're
hear
painted.
that, your mind instantly goes to like
It's not what you think.
The Hannibal Lecter
No.
kind of stuff, but it wasn't. This was more of like a Chinese lantern painted.
Yep. That's what it looked like.
And
No one would know.
no one would know otherwise unless you were told what it was.
Exactly. And yeah, man, it was heavy, wasn't it? I mean, that's after we realized what, and that's what you told me is like, and I'm like, wait, we got that reading where those in that proximity of those. I mean, that was just crazy. What's Angie got?
So many chains
Oh yeah,
dragging that one down.
yeah.
So Angie, who is the host, she was saying that when we get back to the room, right when Jess set up the equipment, Anne started talking. The hair stood up on my arms, and Theresa said that it dropped a whole degree in that room. You could feel it. It was heavy.
Well, do you remember we discounted it? Remember, Adam, the REM pod, the REM pod, the temperature sensor kept going up on us.
Yeah, we were getting an elevation in temperature.
And I had to actually go and reset it multiple times. And we're just like, it's probably because there's so many people. But I don't know. But I did get one bit of data while the REM pod was going on. And I'll let you see that. That is, let's see, that's EVP, screen. I got them all here somewhere. What's the name of it? Here it is.
James says, I told you this all leads back to a World War II German political party, which has come up multiple times over the last few months.
It's just funny.
And yeah, I mean, that was one of the spots where there was some bizarre readings.
Yeah, real bizarre readings. Near the mortar, the bright red light. That's it. Yes. Yeah. So that happened literally as you saw it, just like that. I mean, that didn't happen any other time though. I mean, you were there, Adam. You saw that, and it literally just happened that one time. And I don't know what to think about it. I mean, it was very short and very quick. But as soon as I said, I was asking Joe, I was like, hey, well, what is this thing? Howard's a mortar. I don't know. I'm like, a mortar, right? And I was like, yes, by the mortar. Boom. Near the mortar, the bright red light. That's it. Yes. So what you're seeing there is the REM pod reacting. And what's really crazy about that REM pod set in like ultra sensitive, right? That means that whatever got in that field, that range to trigger that's only the green lights. That's only the first one. So it was probably at least a foot or so out. Like the near field, the radiation had to have been at least, about a foot out from that to trigger, which is just, it's bizarre.
So Eric McMillan was also there. He's joined us here in the chat room. Have we talked about the lampshades yet? Yes, we had literally just addressed the lampshades.
We just did, Eric, and that's what we were talking about. We got those weird readings, and man, I don't know. And at the time, we didn't know. That was the weirdest part, and I think that's the best validation when you don't know something, and then you figure it out. But that was probably some of the more interesting things. But we did get other things. I got, I'll let you hear the EVP we got. And maybe you guys can help figure it out. Because here's the situation. We're back in the room, and you know where it's at, Theresa. It's where the car was. And we were back there sitting by this vehicle. And by the way, this vehicle was so charged.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
It was hooked up to the electric, literally.
I mean, this thing was supercharged is what I'm getting at. And I don't know what the EM, it was off the charts around this car. But it is nothing unusual. It's just how it was. So we tried to stay as far away from it as we could with our equipment. So we're sitting out in front of it. But we're doing a little EVP session in there, kind of showing people how that goes. And I ask a question. And when I ask the question, we got what sounds like an answer. But I don't know. Hey, Mark. I don't know if it's, because we said this before, there was so many people in that building, it's a possibility it was something else. I'm only including it for data because I know we didn't say anything in that room. And it sounds like it's in the room. It sounds like you're hearing an actual acoustic from the room when it says something. So have a listen.
Is this your car?
Now, this voice was captured not only on the audio from the camera, but on the recorder at my foot here.
Okay, so that actually sounds a lot like the voice that Jess and I both heard with our ears.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So you just played that. We were sitting over on the other side of the horse while Cindy was doing the Estes method. And, we could hear like the radio running and stuff, but it sounded like somebody was out back talking. And so we sent Ike back there to look. And he said there was nobody out there. But, we knew where the other groups were. We couldn't hear you all for most, while we were back there. But we both heard a male voice, and it was loud. We couldn't make out what it was saying, but it sounded like it was coming from right behind the car.
Oh, wow. See, we had no clue. And it sounds like it's actually got an echo to it, like it's actually in that room. But none of us heard it, like, physically. That's the thing. I mean, Adam, you were standing right there. Did you hear anyone that loud?
No.
No, exactly.
I mean, that was my hand with the device.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. But you feel free, guys. Tell us what you think. I mean, I'm listening. Yeah, that's what I got out of it, Anita. That's what I got out of it. And it's pretty clear. I mean, I'll play it again.
Is this your car?
Now, this voice was captured not only on the audio from the camera, but on the recorder at my foot here. That secondary audio that you saw when I zoomed in, that's literally off of the RTVPs. That's why it's so loud. And the clicks you hear is, of course, there's a Geiger counter there, and there's the EM, the tri-field's there. And that's a separate thing. But here's what's really crazy. If you listen a little bit longer, and I did, I just happened to catch it on the RTVP, but it wasn't on the camera. So we didn't catch this on the camera's audio. This is only on the RTVP's audio. And this is literally just a couple of seconds after it says what we think it says right there, right? So, and this is hard to listen to. It's really hard. I've got it cranked up. So, just listen and see if you hear anything. Did you hear that? It kind of sounds like. There's something there in the background noise that shouldn't be in the background noise.
Yeah.
Can you make it out? I mean, I don't mean make it out, but can you hear what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I can hear what you're hearing pretty clearly.
But I can't tell what it is.
It's like Herman and Herman.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it's doing.
There's something there. Like, I'd like this just sit with a set of headphones and just listen and see if I could rip it apart.
Well, this is the thing about good EVPs, and Theresa, you know where I'm going with this. Good EVPs seem to hide somewhere in the frequency range to where you just can't retrieve it. You can pop it up as loud as you want, but it still, for whatever reason, sounds almost exactly like it sounds.
So have you looked at it with the
spectrum analyzer?
Not spectrum analyzer, spectrogram.
Yeah.
And isolated it.
You can't see it
within that frequency range. And then
it's too minuscule. The decibel level is hidden in all that, all that white noise. That's the problem. And that's where these things lie sometimes, is in that white noise or in that background noise.
That's why I like looking for Bigfoot audio better.
It's a lot easier. Yeah, Bigfoot audio is a lot easier than trying to find, this whatever this is, interdimensional or
and
whatever.
he just saying is picking up a male voice, just leave.
Maybe.
And we were told to leave through the
Were you?
S box. Yeah, while we were back there, it told us to leave. So we honored it and we went to another area.
Well, we told it that, we would leave, which is really funny because none of us had this conversation. And we literally said that at the end. Hey, yeah, it could be German. That's true. Never know.
Now, Andrew said it sounds like
could
a whole
follow
sentence, and that's kind of what I'm hearing.
It
too.
does.
Like a,
Yeah.
yeah, it's almost like the Swedish Chef.
Yeah, it is. It's like whatever it's saying, it's exactly what it's doing. It's like it's repeating, right? Like whatever that's saying.
So I just want these people to leave.
Well, it's very possible. We asked it later, if it wanted us to leave just to say something, and it didn't. But I'll show you what else happened while we're back there. We got, where's it at? Is it this one? I think it's this one.
This is accurate. This is accurate. I think Spooky got it.
Sounds like Joe eating a hot dog. No, it wasn't Joe eating a hot dog. I promise.
Just sucking on some chili dogs, Joe. Just
I know, right?
But it could be.
Right outside the Tasty Freeze.
So here's this.
Can you see us? Is this here? I'm starting to get a spike over here. In the 700 and... Look at that. 750, 760.
Yeah, 780, I think, is where it went to. And what was funny is only in direct correlation to asking that question, and then it just back down to nothing. Back down to 400, I mean. Not nothing, but it went back down to 400.
Deuster is saying to take
Slow it
that
down.
audio clip, slow it down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to play with it a little bit. I just happened to discover that today while I was cutting the video. I'm like, wait a minute, there's something here. And I would never found it if I hadn't had this. I don't think I would have caught it because it's not on any other audio from that area. So we got a weird spike.
You missed a lot, Pat.
You missed a lot. Missed a lot. But we'll brief you. But well, let's play him the EVP because did he get to hear the EVPs?
I think he was gone before that.
Okay.
So
yeah. I'm going to do this for Pat because Pat was actually running the camera last night. And thanks to Pat, we actually got a lot of this stuff documented. So huge thanks, buddy. But this is EVP number 1. And it seems to be a direct correlation to a question.
Is this your car?
Now, this voice was captured not only on the audio from the camera, but on the recorder at my foot here. And Theresa just let us know, completely unbeknown to us, that they had heard a similar sounding voice in around the same area, right? So, yeah. And then right after that, we got this thing. That weird doubly sound that you got there. Now, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna take Dewey's advice on that and slow that down and process that out a little bit more.
What's the flicker of light on the radiator before it speaks?
Let me check. Is that EVP 1, the first EVP? Is that what she's talking about? It could be a reflection off of one of the lights, but let's see.
Is this your car?
Now, this voice was captured not only on the audio from the camera, but on the recorder at my foot here. That's there's a lot of dust that's blowing around in there. Lot of dust. And we actually discussed that in the video. And then we got an EM spike, which was kind of weird. Could it be "da" in German? Well, yeah. I mean, it could be. There's another thing that happened back there. And you'll find it interesting if I can find it. Yeah, here it is, I think. No, that's not it. EM spike, EVP. Oh, it's not here. That's weird. Well, anyway, what do you think, Joe? I mean, I want to hear what you think. I want to hear what Theresa thinks. I want to hear what everybody thinks. Like literally everybody.
With the which pertaining to which.
Let's go with the first EVP first.
The first one, like, I don't know. The first one, if I'm going to be completely honest, it sounds sort of like my voice. But
Well,
I
that's
wasn't
what
in
I
the room.
thought. But you weren't in the room.
I wasn't with you. It sounds
And
like me, though.
But you don't talk. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that would mean you would have been in another room yelling or screaming.
Right, I would have had
I
to
know
yell.
where you were. I know where you were.
I was just outside your room, and I wasn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were right at the table, right out
Yep.
in front of that room at the little base table. There's where you were. So I'm saying it wasn't
But
you
if-
physically.
If I was talking, you would have picked up more than just the one. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. I'd have picked up an entire conversation, which I did not. So I don't know. And Adam, didn't you have some weird experience back there too?
No, it was the big one.
Yeah.
Where you saw me with the device. I got up and was kind of stepping up on the ledge and moving back behind. And there's a lot of clothing racks back there containing uniforms. And as I was just trying to navigate my way through the dark and try not to trip and fall and have myself have an early evening, I was looking at the device and in my right hand, and it was at the baseline of 0.1 at the time, which was in the room. And for that spot, it was pretty much the way it was going.
Mhm.
And I just need to move around. I just had this desire to get up and move around. So I got up, started walking towards this clothing rack, and my hand was pulled towards the clothing rack.
Now, wait, your hand was physically pulled, right? Because that's important here. It wasn't that you just like said, I need to go over here. It felt like something literally had your hand and pulled it toward the rack, right?
It was a poltergeist activity.
Yeah, yeah.
What I was going to say is, and in my mind's eye, I could see like a black gloved hand, but that was in my mind's eye.
Sure.
And on the device, it went up to 7.8.
Now, that's significant. So we told you before that the 3 point, whatever you got out there, 3.1 or 3.2 out. Yeah. Either way, 3, that's remarkable out there where we were in close relation to what we were near. But this thing went to 7 and you had an actual, physical, manifestation. Something actually grabbed you.
Mm-hmm.
That's called multiple validation. And I can't, like I said, that's important to me. So how about you, Theresa? Did you have any issues like that? Did anything actually touch you or anything?
No, I didn't feel anything touch me. There was a time though, and we were on that kind of backside where like the medical stuff is, where like the human foot and the embalming table and everything are. And I can't remember the question that was asked, but I got super, super dizzy. And then later on, Ike was walking through, from the back towards that area, and he got dizzy kind of, pretty close to where I got dizzy at.
Yeah, he had mentioned getting dizzy there towards the end of the evening.
You know what's weird is I got a little lightheaded while we were back by the car, but I just figured that's where I hadn't really ate a lot. It happens. It's normal for me. But I didn't feel anything like really weird. Like I usually get like the tingles or a cold chill, something like that. I didn't get any of that, but I got a lot of instrument validation at this place, which is just, it was off the charts. I mean, it literally was off the charts. There were things there. And I'm like you, like when we were hearing like some of the stuff that they had experienced, the orbs and such, I can write that off as possibly dust, right? I mean, that's a given. But then when we start getting these things like arms pulled and strange communications, and then we get, instrument validations, well, now it's a little harder to explain this stuff away. You can't just go and say blanket, it's just all in someone's mind. It's not. That's what I'm getting at. Not in my opinion. And I found that piece for you. I want you to watch this one. This is interesting. This is by the car. This is literally before we got up and walked away. So this would have been before or right about when you got that sensation, I think, Adam. It may be just a little bit before that. You let me know.
Yeah, was this a company vehicle?
Whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, was this a company vehicle?
Huh. Well, I don't think we're going to get.
Well, Ron has left the room, apparently. Dead Meme says, we heard a voice while sitting at the table behind the horse. I don't know which group.
I think that was probably mine. If that's just, we talked about that voice that both of us heard. It sounded like it came from around the area of the car.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Then she said this is Jess. She's on her son's account. Yes, Ron made the entity angry. I'm telling you, Microsoft has probably done something really, really squirrely, because this show has been absolutely littered with technical difficulties we've not experienced before. And it's been everybody on the show. Literally everybody on the show has had some kind of weird technical issue, all the way from our guests to yours truly. It booted me out 3 or 4 times before we could even get on. So Ron, I think, is going to try to join us on his phone. Let's see here. I'm going to try and snag this real quick. No. Yeah, get on your phone. I'm going to send him the link to jump in with the phone real quick. Ding. So, another thing that we had since Angie says, I'll say it since Ron's not here. Aliens. And Spooky, he also got booted out. Pat got booted out. It's been across the board. So one of the other things, and I don't know if Ron has any videos queued up. Let me take a look here. Oh yeah, the mannequin. So this little clip right here was pretty interesting. I was involved in this one. The mannequin, one of the people who was there at the show. You back?
The whole house just lost internet. Like literally, everything went down.
Well, I was going into the mannequin thing. I was getting ready to queue up that clip.
Oh, go ahead.
And so what we were doing here, just to give you guys a little backstory,
this was one of my favorites
who showed up, said that she kept walking by this mannequin, kept saying, we got to check this out. Somebody's got to come check this out. So I was like, all right, we'll go check it out. So I went and grabbed Ron. I said, come over here, take a look at the mannequin. She's saying she's picking up some kind of weird vibe off of it. Let's just see what happens. And this is
overseas ribbon, Air Force accommodation, Air Force achievement.
We're getting responses. 1.6
Oh, yeah.
milligauss.
Dude, your hat's out of regs too. I don't know what they did to you, man. I'll straighten you up before I leave.
Oh, I had a high spike, a really high spike.
Yeah, he doesn't like a thing in his hat.
this is just bizarre. I mean, that's literally what happened.
Yeah. So Ron had instrumentation up there. You can tell him what you were looking at and seeing what kind of readings you were getting.
Looking at a tri-field, and I'm running basically magnetic EMF, just regular EMF. And I'm calling it out as we're watching it. We go in there, and the baseline on it is like 0.5 or something. It's low, you know? And then as soon as these questions start getting asked, it goes up into the ones. And then when Joe does his thing, it shot up. I couldn't even see it because there's a little peak at the top. It popped up there really fast and went back down. And man, I wish that thing had data logging, because I know it was high. I mean, it was like 5 or something. It was high.
So to give you insight as to what was causing these spikes, or what we believe prompted them anyway, was when we went over to the mannequin. Ron was getting some weird readings. It was an Air Force uniform. Me being prior Air Force, I was spouting off. You heard me there looking at the chessboard, and I was spouting off the medals and the achievement ribbons and such that he was wearing on his breast. And then I started looking at the rest of the uniform, and I noticed that the uniform was kind of out of sorts, particularly his cover. So his cover, his hat was out of regs. There was a piece of paper stuck in it, kind of looking like the Pied Piper or Peter Pan. And what it was it was something that was supposed to have been taped above his name tape. And it was just describing that this individual was engaged in conflict, and the majority of the uniform was all time specific, but there were a few bits and bobs that had been added using modern accoutrement, because I guess they just couldn't find the old school OG stuff. So they were putting modern day little lapel pins and things of that nature on there that would be current era acceptable, and not World War II or Korean War era. So what we're dealing with there is I was calling out all the stuff that was messed up with the uniform, and as I would fix each little detail, EM spikes would go up, and then once the uniform was put back in regs, calm down.
Yeah. But it was as soon as you recognized it, that's the kicker, because it starts going up. If you play the clip, you can hear it. It starts, 1 point, whatever, and it just keeps going up. And then there's that real spike when you said, you don't like it or something. The hat, right? It was about that. Yeah. Your cover's out of regs. And when you did that, it was almost like that was like a relief kind of thing. Someone's listening. So we can determine that you can interpret that multiple ways. As that was somebody attached to the clothing, or maybe it was somebody who is watching over the shop, and they just want it to be a certain way. There's that kind of thing too. I mean, we don't know what it was.
He's got some kind of DI who's actually cruising around the shop, stuck there.
Right? That's what I'm saying. It's like,
get it fixed. Fixed. Hurry up and unzip yourself.
Yeah, that's it. So did the rad one ever play, or did it just
which one?
The one I was trying to play when we got booted. Should I even try to play it?
That would be the outtake EVP1, right?
No, LRADs at the bottom.
LRADs?
Yeah, was this a company vehicle? It's a very cool car. It's a cool vehicle. Radiation's going up.
It literally just started going up when I asked that question. Now, it's not anything dangerous. I want to make sure people understand that. It is ionizing radiation. But here's the thing. It's in very low. The significance is that it was around 15. And now it's starting to go up. And it goes up just as soon as I ask that question. And what you don't see here, because I was making the clip small, it'll be in the longer version. It literally just drops right back down to normal, where it was 15, stays at 15. Now, very significant. When we were doing the baseline sweep, I remember Maria was running around doing the radiation detection. I know, I have the greatest wife in the world. She runs around with a Geiger counter. You can't. I don't know. That's good. But she was running around with the Geiger counter back there, and she was like, that room's crazy. And I'm like, what's going on? She said, well, it's fluctuating between, I think it was like 30 and 33 in some places. But it's regularly around 15 when you go back there. But there would be spots where it was going to 30 and 33, and we couldn't find anything that was causing that. The weird part for me is that shouldn't happen. I mean, it shouldn't happen unless there's something there that's literally causing beta or gamma radiation. So we've seen it before. That's all I'm going to say. And I mean, it wasn't significant like, the 40s and, that 36 spike that we get every now and again, but it was higher than the background. And we wouldn't have caught it if we hadn't had a Geiger counter, guys. So a lot of times when we think we're not getting an answer or a validation on some piece of equipment, we may not have the right piece of equipment deployed, right? I mean, that's what it kind of comes down to.
It's all about deploying every possible asset that you have to be able to collect every amount of data possible.
And that's literally what we try to do.
With the investigation crew that you were running around with, Theresa, what was one of the more interesting or compelling things for the night for you?
I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I think the Estes method with Cindy was really validating. Because, like I said, I have never seen somebody answer so many direct questions before. But I mean, the whole evening, it really seemed like we were communicating with, what you would expect to be there. We had multiple, equipment hits. And I didn't even really think much about it at the time, but now listening to you all, I had my mel meter just kind of sitting beside me all night, and it would just randomly go from 0.0, for like 5 or 6 minutes, and then shoot up to like 7.6, and with nothing around.
That's right.
Everybody had our cell phones on airplane mode. There was nothing near it. It would just randomly shoot up, and it never really got more than like 8, but just random.
That's pretty significant still for where we were at with baseline, though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. So there was something causing these weird spikes, and it would just happen for like a second. One point it went to like 7 something, then 6 something, then 5 something, and then zeroed back out. But it seemed so random at the time. But now I'm kind of thinking maybe it wasn't so random. So I haven't had a chance to look over my audio recorder footage or my camera footage or anything. So I'm really excited to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get in there and see what.
Yeah, we got to compare notes for sure. And this, Tony, was anything radioactive like World War II wristwatch perhaps? Yeah, that could have been out on the other side, but where we were at when we got those spikes, I mean,
on the other side of a concrete wall.
No, we shouldn't. It shouldn't have been. And what's weird is it literally just happens. I mean, you see it in real time right there because I'm asking the questions, and then all of a sudden it just starts going from this click, click to click, 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 click. It's like, what in the world's causing that? I mean, I don't know. It shouldn't happen, but it did. So welcome to the wild and weird, era of high strangeness. But what's really cool about this, Theresa, didn't you find it really cool to get as many groups together like that and just hit a building and compare data? I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah. And I love doing that. I love to see how other people investigate, so I can, pick up tips from them, and then we can all compare, see what we got. And I think the people that, we had some new people for the first time last night, and I think they had a great time. And so I hope, maybe that'll encourage some more people to, look at this field a little closer.
Oh, it was my first time. I had a great time myself. So.
And I heard a lot of people using the word validation last night. And that's good because that's really what it's all about. It's not about proving anything as much as it's just proving it to yourself, validation for yourself.
Andrew's saying that there was also a storage room with more stuff upstairs for the building, and who knows what all was in there.
That's a good point. I mean, we can't even imagine. But I think it demands, I would definitely be down for a full investigation in that place. But I think Theresa agrees with me on this, and I know you do, Adam. I know you do, Joe. You would need to cut the power. There's some dirty power in there.
That room is so hot, and by hot, I mean, I think there's multiple reverse hot neutrals.
Yeah, it's dirty power.
In that building, i.e. dirty power.
Yeah.
And because if you sat there, you could hear it.
Oh,
you
well.
Could hear
I will tell you this. There were walls, and you'll see that in the video. When we go over to the wall, we're a foot away from the wall, and the tri-field just starts like buzzing,
Yeah.
like it's turned in. I don't know, it's crazy. But and then we get up to the wall. I mean, we're reading crazy levels of RF radiation. I'll also say this: it has been shown that high levels of RF radiation, microwave energy, does what, Joseph?
Acts as a conduit.
And what else does it do to the?
It can cause you to hear things, see things, experience things that technically aren't there.
Or they may be there. Who knows?
Or might be, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we don't know what some of these frequencies are doing, but I can tell you that place is full of energy. I mean, you heard people running the method where they use the what is it? The generators, right? The EM pumps.
Yeah.
You don't need one there. That's what I'm getting at.
No, you don't. That building is an EM pump.
That building is an EM pump. That's exactly what I'm getting at.
So Fishbelly, does your survey meters have alarms set for when you're not actively monitoring? And the majority of them do.
Yeah.
Whenever a spike starts to occur, you'll either hear clicking, beeping, some sort of an alarm.
Lights come on.
Lights. But yeah, it was to go back there and do a proper search.
I would feel good about it. I would feel very good about it.
We'd have to turn the breaker box off.
Yeah. Yeah, like Dewey's saying there. It can cause depression, anxiety. It can cause paranoia, things like that.
Anita added, homes under high tension power lines always have activity.
Mm-hmm. Well, not just homes. Think about where some of these Bigfoot sightings occur.
Yeah. Yep. Anything on those high tension power lines, it's.
Yeah, and we were literally in this area that, I mean, literally it needs a Faraday's cage. I mean, that's.
If Pat says that place needs an electrician, an electrician would go in there and have like a fit. They'd go in there and be like.
Well, we'd be communicating with communicating with the electrician, probably.
Yeah, he would like just stroke out the moment he walks in, because he could probably, like me, hear the electricity running free through the building and be like, it does not compute, and just walk out of the door backwards.
That area might ask about how the fire insurance policy is,
Right.
I mean, it's that building's grandfathered. That building's grandfathered in, and as long as they keep the occupancy or like capacity below 49,
it's fine.
Then they don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a hazard or anything. It's just an old building, and when you're running with, super sensitive equipment, you're going to pick that up. That's just how it is.
Pat said there were at least 3 computers left running. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. And we got near that one wall, and that's where we were getting a lot of those spikes, and it was from that room where the computers were. So yeah, I mean, you're going to get dirty radiation basically, and that doesn't mean like nuclear. That's just EM radiation that's leaking out.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen, but you got to be aware of that stuff. Yeah, it's contamination. You got to be aware of that.
That's the whole reason you do a baseline, and then when you're doing your baseline, you're like, oh God, this is so bad.
Well, it's not that it's so bad. It's that, okay,
it makes it hard.
Yeah, we've got to adjust. So if our baseline is like 1.5, we would
have to treat 1.5 like 0 at that point.
Exactly. So we would be very excited to get a 1.5 in other places, Yeah. But if you go in there and you're getting a
3.
Yeah, you need like a 3, something like that to get really excited about it. But I don't know. Like I said, I thought that it was a very good investigation. I saw a lot of people who got to do things that they've never got to do before. What is it?
Scout troop used to meet up there upstairs back in the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, that building's been everything. It was a carpet store at one point.
Yeah, calibration is 100% necessary for accuracy. That's why every time we use our equipment, we make sure that it is finely tuned.
Yes, it's absolutely important.
Otherwise, you're going out there with bad instrumentation.
No, you know what?
Don't have anything.
Dewey asked a good question.
Yeah, we did.
Only
one camera dropped battery very quickly.
But we got it. We plugged it into the external and
Yeah.
continued to truck on. But yeah, that was the Phasm cam that started
My
to drain.
Phasm camera ran out of batteries within like 10 minutes. And I know that, that's typical
No.
for that camera. So
It's not.
It's really not. Like,
we run
we've got
ours for
2 of
2.5
them.
hours.
oh wow.
We've
Yeah,
got 2 of
I
them in
saw
the.
Hellbent Hollow did a review of it, and she said hers drained pretty quickly. But yeah, I was surprised how quickly mine drained. I was able to record the curator talking, and then it died. And
What?
yeah, that's all I was able to record. I recorded her spiel, and then the battery was completely drained.
I mean, we ran for a good hour at least.
And it was fully charged, so
Yeah, everything was fully charged.
Yeah, we've ran both of ours for long durations. So multiple times. Ron has left the building once again. The flashlight rook died, or the flashlight and the rook died. Then certain areas meters couldn't really be used, because the EMF was just off the charts and bleeding through the walls like crazy. But Dewey, other than the one camera on our end, and we're now finding out Theresa's camera got dusted pretty quick too, which is really it's really odd. Now, what Deucer said, he runs the Phasm camera with the Elanzi stick, and we have 2 of those as well, but we don't plug into them until we have to. But we had to plug in after about an hour. We had to plug in on ours, and because it was drained like substantially.
yeah, I ordered the stick because I've got like external batteries, but they're just heavy. So
Yeah, they are. The stick's really nice and gives you something for stability as well, and it actually pops out like a tripod. So can't beat that thing. It's the best $65 you'll spend for an external battery. Absolutely. We got ours back in September, and we beat them to death. So they're really tough. So what were some other things you guys might have experienced when you were out? Because we got about 20 minutes left to roll here, and we're going to start taking some questions from the room here in a minute. But was there anything else of note that either of you experienced?
Well, okay, for a second there, I thought I froze, but no, it's me. Whenever I was out in the big room, out from where the car garage is, there was a couple places that would spike pretty high on my meter. I mean, like 3.6, 4.8 and such like that. And it was around the majorette uniform that was on the mannequin.
Yeah.
And around a particular picture that had been, what was it, like the 58 or something like that, Nitro basketball team that had been it had been used from 2 different photos, and it was just kind of messed up. And I think that they were unhappy about that.
Gotcha.
Like the uniform.
What I miss?
Do we have any questions from the room? Anybody have anything they want to ask?
Yeah, let's see what you guys have done on comments. Last week, you almost broke the record. You almost beat Dewey's record. Almost. But the Deuster still has the highest on the comment record as it goes. Congratulations.
Matthew McConaughey helped with that.
Were you out of a high EMF area when the battery drained? No. We were the thing is, everything inside that building is just a high. So
that's the truth.
It's possible that the building itself and the stray electricity did something.
Oh yeah, we can't discount that. There's just not with that building. That's
Good evening, Facebook user. I'm going to go see who you are.
Uh-oh. Go see who the Facebook user is. I'm trying to see her analytics.
Ada Cox is with us. That's Ada over there.
All right.
What's going on, Ada? Yeah, like Pat said, the whole place is just high EMF. Like you literally, like you could hear the hum of the electricity in the building with the lights off.
Yeah, well,
The lights were off.
I don't
and you
know.
could
I
still
didn't.
hear
I
them.
didn't hear any of that. I heard the air handlers, and those things were ridiculous.
Oh yeah, those air handlers are eons old too. But like,
Those-
I have,
those were ridiculous.
I can pick up really, really low sound frequencies, and like I can feel them. It's weird and it drives my wife nuts. And it's not anything weird or paranormal. It's just I have this sensory thing where I can feel it. Like I know when a vehicle has pulled up outside. I've been in the basement. I can tell and feel the vibration off of a vehicle that's pulled up out front on the side of the road. Like if we got pizza coming, like I'm like, somebody put their car in park. The pizza is here. Or I can, if my wife never puts her phone, Kelly, never has the sound on her phone if you're watching right now. So she will have to find our phone from the account, and I'll be in the house and I can feel it vibrating. And I can feel it. Like it's over here in this room, and then I just go get it and pick it up. Here you go. and, so like I can feel that electricity like that in that room. I just with the lights off, I could still there's the whole time we were there. I just heard this kind of drone, and then when the air handler kicked on, oh boy!
So, I know that Adam felt a hand pulling his. Were there any other physical sensations that anyone present felt? Temperature changes, hair on the back of your neck standing up, etc. That's a good question. It's a great question. I didn't feel anything like physical. Joe?
I didn't know. I know that one of the guests did. That's how we got turned on to the whole mannequin thing to begin with.
Yeah.
Angie says, yes, the hair stood up on my arms.
Okay. Yeah, that's physical.
Temperature in the back room dropped by 1 degree, even though it should have gone up with the crowded room.
I would count that.
And Ike and I felt dizzy. I think a couple other
That's
people
right.
felt dizzy at certain points.
Yeah, I won't count mine because again,
I did have another kind of physical sensation. And I don't know if it was anything because I was sitting on the floor kind of weird.
Go ahead.
But we were back where the embalming table was, and we were talking about maybe the embalming table was also used for amputations. And one of the ladies was like, well, yeah, the amputation knife is right there. And I asked, was it your right leg that was amputated? Because I felt like a kind of a stabbing sensation in my right thigh.
Okay.
But
Pat says
Wow.
his back hurt for a little while after, but I really just think that's from carrying us for as long as he has.
Well, it's probably from running the camera rig he was running.
Yeah.
He's running we broke out the large gimbal for this one. But
So Theresa, you were saying did it get the leg right?
it didn't say.
Okay.
Yeah, it when we asked, like, what we're using, Jess was back there running the flashlight method, and it said that it wasn't their leg that was cut off.
okay.
But it was funny because I was sitting right beside the foot, the skeletal foot, and it was a right foot that was back there.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Like, welcome to the Nitro War Museum. Here's a human foot. We don't know why, but here it is. Ah.
So we've got,
I think it was snuck out of in a medicine bag from World War II.
Yeah,
probably.
It was found in a bag, in a duffel bag.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like one of those training things or whatever. I'm sure.
No, I mean, I think someone actually.
No, someone probably choppy.
Oh, you think so?
Bag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
there
kind
were
of-
art collectors, man. There were people
who
who got caught with like hundreds of ears and noses and finger joints, all that kind of stuff. So like a whole
Wow.
foot, that would have been a trophy.
Wow.
foot, human skin.
Yep.
Humans are
Cutting
bizarre
off
creatures.
tattoos, all that stuff.
What do we got? We've got, yeah, looks like a lot of people had some experiences. Ike had dizziness. Eric, during the SD session, chills. I'm sure it sounds rather terrifying, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I think that there was definitely something going on out there, James. Very much thankful. I think you guys have earned a new video. I'm going to have to cut a new one of our Sky Daddy and possibly, I don't know, put some robes on him or something. I don't know at this point, but I'm going to do something. So it's going to happen at this point. But
James is coming for the title.
I know it's getting scary. Adam, be careful, buddy. But I will say this: Adam is wearing the new shirt, so that's what it looks like in person. Yep. The Cryptid Road shirt. That's version 2. It was great to see Adam. Okay. Oh, you guys are killing me. So anyway, he's also wearing a very special necklace, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yes, there's only a few of those out there right now, and we do hope to get some more of those made for everybody too, by the way. Our oldest son walked into the room near the mannequin and got extremely dizzy. So yeah, look at that.
Oh, this is the Sarah from last night.
Yes, that's the Sarah from last night.
Awesome. Okay.
And yeah, just incredible experiences there. Dee and I investigated the old truck stop where one of the regulars lost in a game of Russian roulette. The EVP we got said they told me it wouldn't hurt. Wow. I wonder if that's a confirmation if it didn't hurt or if it did.
That's, man. Wow. That's
absolutely ridiculous. This thing keeps coming on.
How do you feel about that?
Going out. Drive me crazy.
They told me it wouldn't hurt. Wow.
Yeah, man.
I'm like at a loss on that one. That's heavy.
Hey, you guys are at 2.
Jeez.
You chatters are out at 201 right now is where you're at. So you got some doings.
Ground to cover.
You got some ground to cover, guys
and girls.
You better get on it. Y'all better get on that.
Any other questions from the audience?
Or comments, questions, comments, suggestions, etc. All.
And they don't even have to pertain to what we did last night. We've got a great little round table set here. We can answer a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who have experienced some stuff here. So have at it. Ask what you will. We're good.
Theresa's experienced one of my favorite things on the planet, and that's the Ovnik.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think we've had some very fond memories of experiences with the Ovnik as well. Less mischievous, less being ornery, but more inquisitive and intriguing.
Yeah,
he's my little buddy.
Right?
Yeah,
he's cool.
Sarah says you can investigate every business around that small block. It's loaded. Oh yeah, it is
100%.
And Ron in the
100%.
past has investigated the majority of those buildings in that area, from the old pet shop to the funeral home, the crematorium. Then the
pet shop was the first, actually.
Well, yeah, the pet shop.
The pet shop was the first because I was standing there, and gosh, this is years ago. And I was standing there, and we saw what looked like half of a person walk by the window. And Barry had always said, see, told you. And that's what he did. He's like, see, told you. And I'm like, what in the world, And so that was one of the first places we investigated, back with Ghost Watch.
So James Boggs is like shooting them off in rapid succession. What do you think of pre-Adamite theory? It's plausible.
James,
pre-Adamite theory is plausible. I
don't care. I think James just literally took your challenge.
It covers it. Yeah. it covers a lot that would make a whole lot of sense. That's always been my take. I've been a pre-Adamite studier for a pre-Adamite student, I guess you would call it. Studier is not a word.
Studier?
but yeah.
And the English teachers just lost their minds who were listening to it. So we're going to see a number drop off up here. Watch. It's going to be.
I just had a George Bush moment.
Right up,
so,
up there. It'll
and
drop.
then he says, "Is the Earth really flat? Absolutely not. Because again, I have done this thing called the having to take into account the Coriolis." Shooting her right.
See, they shut him up. They don't want you to know the truth. You saw that, right?
It was really, really, really far.
We don't know what you said because they shut you up as soon as you started to talk.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
So
you sounded like.
Is the Earth really flat? Absolutely not, because I've on practice ranges and whatnot taken shots where you have to count the take into account the Coriolis effect, which is the curvature and spin of the Earth. That means I have
quit your conspiracy theories. Just
a piece
stop.
of lead really far downrange.
Just stop it. Stop it. No one cares.
And have we really gone to the moon?
Yes.
That's an episode.
Which moon?
Itself.
Which moon?
Yeah. And finally, who killed JFK?
Can't talk about this at all. Absolutely no.
I cannot
Can't.
confirm nor
Can't.
deny.
No confirming or denying or even speculating on that at this point. Who else we got up there? Gosh, there's other people. Theresa.
Dead meme Theresa. When you listen to the responses while Eric was asking the question, it will give you chills. Ian and I got emotional.
Yeah, I told him that you all still hadn't told me what you were asking, but I think I was running my recorder, so hopefully I can go back and listen to my recorder and see what was going on.
Tony says, did you read the MUFON letter claiming further confirmation of UFO or UAP? I refuse to call it UFO. That's why my brain automatically translated UAP back to UFO. Crash material.
I didn't read the latest. I've been keeping up with everything that's come through this morning. I've been on the phone with people trying to sort out what we think might be coming down the pipeline this weekend. We were wrong last weekend, so let's see if we get it right Friday or tonight at midnight, I should say.
Let's see, did we miss any? No, I think we got them all there.
Did we get them all?
Back corner of Somewhere in Time, Sarah says is
100%. She's 100% right. 100% right, Sarah. You're 100% right. We were back there, and this was before we didn't even know Travis at the time, by the way. And my wife actually saw something that very much fits the description of the Havnik back there in one of the spots. And after I actually told Travis about it, he's like, well, yeah, so totally could have been, because it could have been tied to a piece of, an antique or something from the family of someone who had one, which is kind of sad if you think about that. I would have totally bought that piece if I knew what it was.
Deuster giving a shout out here to Theresa for the glowing book review. He appreciates it very much, and he's glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, well, thank you.
It is a fascinating book. And by the way, Dewey's going to be coming on here sometime soon, and we're going to go over that whole Mantell incident straight on, just that episode of the Mantell incident.
Tony Breeden says, is the Earth a D20? It is probably a highly more likely of that shape.
I thought it was a pickle Earth.
Yeah, pickle Earth. That is, I think, where we're going next.
Yeah, pickle Earth's next.
If nothing else, that's going to be the cult that we start. That's going to be our
pickle Earth. Sure. Okay, that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, you sound like Charlie Brown's teacher talking about my thing. Oh, and hey, look, his English teacher wife lost her mind ages ago, Ron.
Hey,
yeah,
Kelly. So you are listening, like with the volume up. So he was saying bad things about you earlier. Just saying.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Then Eric says, I wish the Earth was a D20. Dead mean, the thrift shop was super active. We heard our own voices from rooms we weren't in, which possibly could have happened last night, being my voice in a room that I wasn't in.
Possibly.
Anita dipped out for a minute. Tony Breeden, MIB, all tight-lipped about JFK. No surprise there. Right? Because Ron there.
That's
what
funny.
about the flat Mars theory? What about donut Mars theory, Ike?
I love donuts, and I would imagine if I was on Mars, I would still love donuts. And that's
We
all I'm
need
gonna
to
say about
channel
that.
Lee Harvey Oswald to get real answers to the real questions. Ron, I think it's time for the obelisk.
So you guys want to try to channel Lee Harvey Oswald tonight? Is that what you're asking me? Jeez, that's pretty wild. I don't know. That's out there, guys.
Yeah, let's channel Lee Harvey Oswald.
We solely. I mean, what could go wrong?
Do it.
What could go wrong?
Then James is like, hey, they asked for questions, and they were good ones.
Yes, these are great questions.
The chat exploded.
Oh yeah, you guys.
You
got
started a landslide.
yeah. You're 235 right now, and
this
it's still
is
climbing.
Really good. The hollow moon theory.
Yeah, that is actually good. That's really
The moon
good.
Rung like a bell.
Well, there are ancient legends that say that the moon was essentially captured, so it's very possible. If you look at that it's a Death Star.
Yeah.
Or something to that nature, a massive space station.
That's no moon.
That's no moon. Exactly.
Now, Sarah Ramsey also says the toy area of the antique store right behind the museum on the second
Upstairs, right? Is that what you're talking about, Sarah?
Yep.
Again, before anybody even, really talked about that stuff, we knew we were in those areas, and you could feel it. I mean,
that building is weird.
Yep.
And they used to have all kinds of weird dark stuff down in the base. Or
They still do.
The first level.
They
No, they
still
moved
do.
a lot of it out.
It's a little touristy, but it's still there.
Yeah.
They got a whole
moved
little
majority of it.
room.
Yeah, but they took a lot of that out. Last time I was in there, most of that stuff had been removed.
There's new stuff now.
There is.
Oh yeah, really creepy stuff.
Pat says he's the only one that knows the truth pertaining to Lee Harvey Oswald. And then Zakia says Lee Harvey Oswald would probably say, I was framed. I mean, very likely.
Probably. Very
by
probably.
a three-letter organization is my guess.
James asked a really good question, and I'll
Why
take it.
haven't we
Sure.
gone back to the moon?
Well, we haven't gone back to the moon because no one wants us on the moon. There you go. I answered it for you.
There's no oil on the moon. Until we find oil, then we'll go to the moon.
Well, there's stuff there that can be, assimilated.
Not oil.
Well, moon dust. Moon dust.
Yeah, that's not oil. Can we burn it? Can we run it?
Maybe.
I mean, like, what's his name? The fellow Area 51.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah.
Lazar has a Corvette right now that runs on hydrogen.
Yep.
I mean,
That doesn't surprise me with Bob.
he's trying to get it sold to start working for Chevy.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me with Bob.
They're already starting to move forward with that hydrogen run engines. They're already looking into that. And he's going, well, come on, let's go.
So James is saying, was the moon landing film, the public release of it, real? I mean, it, for all intents and purposes, was a real film. Was what was filmed real?
That's for anyone to decide.
I tend to say yeah, because I don't want Buzz Aldrin to show up out of nowhere and punch me in the face.
He will punch you in the face. I mean, that's going to happen.
We've covered this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a thing. I don't want to get punched in the face by Buzz Aldrin, so I can either confirm or deny. Then Sarah says she got extremely sick. She asked what was going on. The lady said the second floor used to be a doctor's office a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. So, yeah, it's the second floor, and that is where the comics and such are.
Angie and Tony are over here talking about creepy baby dolls. Tony says that they have creepy baby dolls, and my wife says all baby dolls are creepy.
Oh, they are terribly
Yes,
creepy.
she is terrified of baby dolls.
Yeah.
And every time I threaten to bring one home or show her one on the road, she gets not happy.
Dude, Maria does that same thing with me. We'll go into like the antique places. She'll see the creepiest doll and she'll be like, oh, we need that. And I'm like, no, we don't. Now, in any universe that I can think of that I exist with a logical brain, do I need that? I don't need that. There's nothing there for me. Theresa, what do you feel about creepy dolls? You have a creepy doll. Why am I asking you this?
I don't have a creepy doll. I have a creepy bear.
It's a bear. It's a creepy bear. No, it's actually not a creepy bear. No, it's actually not creepy. It's actually quite benevolent. And it's just where it comes from, this creepy. That's all.
Yeah, but the Uncanny Valley, that is a significant thing. Because there are some creepy, creepy dolls.
Yep. Who else we got?
Pat says, I don't need any fake humans in my house. Dead mean no dolls. Then James says, who told us not to go back?
Do you really want to go there?
I mean, Ron's people probably.
Oh, that's really cute.
It's my family.
Yeah.
Eric says, has anybody ever heard of Edison's talking dolls?
That thing's horrifying. Oh my gosh.
It is nightmare fuel.
No, refresh my mind. It's Edison, and I tried to stay away from him.
Yeah. D collects those 1950s Tiny Tears dolls, and yes, they are creepy and active at times. Speaking of some creepy stuff getting ready to come out of Wild and Weird, there's going to be creepy. There's going to be funny. There's going to be some strange.
You might cry. You might laugh.
But here's a teaser. You guys just can only guess what I'm about to do with these.
You're probably going to cry. We're at 253, guys. Not bad. Not bad. Keep them rolling. Keep them rolling. You can do this.
Says, what phone service did Nixon use to talk to the astronauts on the moon? Has anyone got their number? Well, it definitely wasn't AT&T.
No.
I can't even talk to my husband in the other room when I do.
No. No.
It was the old Intellos network.
No, man. It was Motorola. Remember they had the communicators, the flip phone? That was right out of Star Trek. It had to be what it was. It had to be that one.
It had to be. Well, Motorola's had the government contract for a long time, so it probably really was their radio signal.
I mean, the Motorola symbol. Remember that was the little Delta right off Star Trek. So
then Tony says, technically, there are a fair number of realities where Ron Lanham actively collects creepy baby dolls. They're probably wrong.
Don't talk to me about that. That's just disturbing.
Ron's people are from Mars, not the moon. Come on, guys. Yeah, but the moon might have actually.
No, he's right.
Mars at one point.
No, he's right. He's literally right. I think a lot of our people are from there, actually.
You can't raise kids.
You'll get to hear that.
Mars. It's cold.
Then Adam, hold that puppy back up.
I thought I saw a puppy for a second, and I'm like, wait, I remember seeing a puppy, and I was like, did I just have a screen image? Like someone just like zapped me or something?
It's my tulpa.
Oh, okay. That's, yeah.
Pat says they used a Nokia brick, which is probably it.
You guys remember those, right? How big these phones used to be? I mean, for real?
Yeah. Yeah, they were massive. We actually had a really good conversation about those last night. Hey, Pat said it's puppy dude.
The encouragement is felt, and I get it. That was good.
God.
That was really good. So we
got a few minutes left. Do you want to bring the obelisk out?
I mean, we can. I'm good. Whatever you guys want to do. You can do.
What do you guys think? Bring
out
the obelisk.
You talk. You tell me what you want to do. I'm
Deuce
just here.
Says his granddaughter has one just like it.
What's that?
The puppy.
The puppy? It's probably the same one, man. It's just like coming out of a different reality.
In the reality. In
multiple realities. Sure. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Then Zacchaeus says, my father had one of those first brick cell phones.
A lot of radiation there.
Oh, yeah. Then Pat says, bring out the dead.
Now, to be fair, we don't know if they're dead.
Or they're not dead yet.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's two states of existence, on and off, typically.
This really is the world of the dead. The dead are truly the ones that are living.
Oh, man.
Depends on who's, observing, right? I mean, that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
They call us the dead.
Right. We don't know. It could very well be that.
Maybe we're haunting ourselves from the future.
We could be. We literally could be. Dude, it's going to get weird, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
What was it like in the 2050s? There's a projection, 2050s or 2060s, that dimensions are supposed to break. Run froze. Okay.
I'd say it's already started.
Yeah.
CERN.
I think we just moved it forward to now.
Yeah. Well, Ron's frozen. Ron is in that ulterior dimension at the moment.
Mhm.
So we oh nope, Ron's back, but he's not. We have two Rons.
What in the world is going on here?
We have two Rons, and Ron is now existing in the
Oh my God.
He just,
We just proved it, man. We proved that there's multiple realities. Thanks, Tony, that you did this. I blame you. Let's fix that. That's bothering me.
Oh man. I need it by location.
Ha.
Reality is broken at Ron's house. Yes.
Dude, you have no
Yes,
idea.
it is.
It's really
Ron-
broken.
Ron just cut himself in half like a worm and just grew another one.
I don't know how that happened. I can't explain it. We've had some weird stuff happen tonight. I'm just going to say that. It's going to get weird. Yeah. We're way past that.
Oh man. Maybe there's also a low power mode for existence. There might be.
I like that. I think I know some people who have their set there
Permanently
permanently
for that?
in low power. Yeah.
We have the DVD screensaver thing where it's just going around the box.
Two Ron
Yeah.
manifested an alternate reality, Ron.
You did it, man. You manifested it. You guys, I mean, there's a lot to manifestation if you
What
don't know
happened
that.
to evil anti-Ron? Maybe that's the one we're stuck with.
You will never know. You see, that's the difference.
Which one has a mustache?
You said there were two settings on and off. Dead man, I'm in low power. Oh man, this show's.
Oh, you guys are trying to break the record. I see what you're doing.
They are.
You keep
They are.
going there, you
There,
kids.
Ramsey,
You-
they did indeed. Ron cloned himself.
I'm trying to see what just happened because I don't
Oh,
even know.
man.
I can't wait to watch this and see
That
what
was-
happened.
That was the Ron that collected creepy baby dolls.
Well, I got rid of that thing, so it's not good.
That means that this Ron doesn't collect creepy dolls, or does he?
That's see, Tony. That's what I'm saying. That's
I
what
do
I'm,
not.
how
I
we
do
know that
not.
The evil one is the one that went away.
See, that's how it works. You don't know
Uh,
because I'm the nice one. It's the Mandela effect. Yeah, I know. The next time it happens, I'm going to change shirts.
we're gonna call it the Lanham effect.
Oh, jeez. That one might consist of some more weirder stuff, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys are ready for that.
To experience the Lanham effect, you can join us on July 15th.
Oh yeah,
on State Forest for a Bigfoot workshop where we cannot necessarily deny the fact that Ron might exist there in two singularity points.
Well,
we can't deny the fact that
we can test in real time if we cut it in half.
Oh man,
It's two Rons.
How does Ron know which Ron he is?
I don't. I never do. I never have. And I've asked that question multiple times. Who asked that question? That was brilliant.
Oh man,
I think we're left with the evil one because the evil one would kill the good one.
yeah.
The good one would be like, oh, we're going to live happily ever after. It's going to depend on if Ron takes a career move now to be an accountant. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this weird and wild stuff anymore. I'm going to be an accountant. I'm going to listen to a podcast on, I don't know, USA Today. That'd be awesome.
But he's gonna have a huge collection of creepy baby dolls.
Apparently, that's how we know.
His wife's happy.
She's happy. I'm just like, yeah. She doesn't
All right,
know the difference,
It's
right?
time to cleanse the evil from this universe is wrong. Sky Daddy has made all things right.
That was a really good cleansing that you did there, Joe.
You like that?
I feel better. Does everyone else feel better? Is your aura resonating at the proper frequency now? Because I know mine is.
Now I understand.
Tony's asking, so we're going to find out. We're going to find out in real time. How do you feel about creepy dolls, Ron?
Can't stand them.
He's back. We got him
Can't
back.
stand them. Nope. Don't like them.
I remember when Ron was in two places at once. You guys.
So this is how it starts. I see. That's how these things start. So that's awesome.
That was a not
I do
Ron.
biolocate do become saints. So should we start calling Ron St. John? I mean,
Saint Ron.
Oh,
Saint Ronald.
jeez. That's funny. You guys are hilarious. Keep going. Keep
Reality
going.
Channel 2 Ron's Sky Daddy Matthew McConaughey, come fix it.
He did. It's all good. I'm pretty sure.
And done.
I'm pretty sure it's good.
Okay, I think we got the original Ron back. Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have. It's all good, guys. I promise. You know, we're gonna be good. I promise. It's all good.
You know, keep an eye out at Ron's house and see if he has like a yard sale of all of his spooky stuff. You know, like here's
yeah. If that 12-foot skeleton comes up for sale, we know something's wrong.
Yeah. So we are going to be out in the woods, and you know, if this is any indication of what you're in for, how can you not?
It's fun.
How can you not? Theresa, you were there. I mean, and it's actually going to be even better this time because we confirmed it today.
Yes, it is. It is set in the proverbial stone. The legendary Glenn Adkins, the Squatch Stick Man himself,
Squatch Stick Daddy.
Squatch Stick Daddy. That's his name. Yeah. The Ohio Squatch Project. The man himself, Glenn Adkins, who trained and worked alongside Robert W. Morgan. If you guys have no idea who this gentleman is, he is one of the pioneers of Bigfooting, especially on the East Coast.
I think
the West Coast had their four horsemen, we had Robert Morgan and a few others over this way. And Glenn hung out with him and he mentored underneath him, and you're gonna get good.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, unfortunately, I went out to do an interview with the man to get a lot of
Spider-Man.
There. You guys can green screen, have fun. I went out to do an interview with him to record about this, and it just wasn't meant to be because the recorder didn't work. We literally sat there and recorded for an hour and didn't get anything. So I had to scrap that part. But you're going to get to see it in person. That's what happened. I went back to play it, and all it is this.
Came out, it was completely different.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing there. It's just me talking. I mean, you see this on film. Mouths are moving. Nothing's coming out. Your lips are moving, but I can't hear what you're saying because you're not saying anything. Yeah, it's a Squatch Stick.
This is a Squatch Stick.
Here somewhere. Where's my Squatch
Glenn
Stick?
is probably going to be bringing several of these. You guys will have a chance to probably buy one. There's going to be a few given away, most likely as well.
No hitting each other.
Yeah,
no.
These are as seen on the Finding Bigfoot TV show. I have this one that I take around with me, and I get it signed by everybody I go out and do research in the woods with. There's a good chance it might be there, and if you are at the workshop and you stick around late enough to go out into the forest with us, your names are going to wind up right here.
Mm-hmm.
This bad boy, and it's going to go back up on the wall.
Yeah, but what's really cool is the method that we're talking about. I mean, there's only a handful of people who get to hear what this guy has done. Yeah. And it's pretty legendary for real. And I think it applies to more than just Bigfoot, don't you?
Oh yeah. After talking to him, man, like it applies to a lot.
It applies to a lot. I mean, let's just put it this way. Before there were what's now called CE5s, there were still contact things being done. There were contact modalities, and some were using those for other things. Yeah. And Morgan was one of the first. I mean, as far as I can look back and find.
Yeah, and really, honestly, he was one of the first people putting it into practice in a Western way.
Hmm?
He
recognized them as people.
These were methodologies that he had learned from the First Nations people, monks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Sarah Ramsey, what do you think Sasquatch is? Well.
Go first, Joe.
That is a really complex question. It's not a loaded question because I witnessed these back in 2001. I saw three entities that were very normal, very natural creatures doing very normal, very natural things. When I look back at it from a naturalist perspective, from a scientific perspective, what I witnessed was normal creatures doing normal things, but it was extraordinary because they're Bigfoot. So that sighting for me concretely put me in the flesh and blood camp. There have been things since then that have occurred that have made me go back and reconsider some stances. I used to think that a lot of these, what was called woo, we got away from calling it woo because
I never called it woo. I think it's very offensive.
I think it's a broken word.
It's offensive.
It's meant to degrade, and
Yep.
it's used very derogatory like. So we never really used it. I used it a little bit just because there wasn't anything else, but when we started recognizing that the real issue here was a lexicon that's broken, I experienced some things that would have been classified as that. I didn't know what compartment to put them in. If you're interested in seeing some of those things on video, you can go back and look at our YouTube way back and see some of those back from 2020. But it's also going to be on Seth Breedlove's release coming from Small Town Monsters this coming Sunday. You get to see in real time. You get to see how disgruntled I get on camera, where I'm excited and I'm like, oh, we found footprints. We've got footprints. Here's this. And even in the teaser in Sasquatch Unearthed Mountain State Monsters, in the teaser, you can just see how like I'm standing there, I'm breathing weird. I'm like rubbing my head and I'm like, yeah, man, it's freaking Geiger counter. Like, I don't want to admit
He's uncomfortable. He's extremely uncomfortable. And, you know, the funny thing is, it's all 100%. It's all legit because, you know, I was filming and documenting back in those days. And it's been years now. And it's documented. And that's why we document things, because you can actually see the growth and the progress, because now the pendulum's swinging in the other way.
Now, the First Nations people, they believed that the Sasquatch could walk between worlds. That would lead into possible interdimensionality. Now, were they encountering the same thing that I encountered out in the woods? Or were they encountering also some of what other people are encountering out in the woods, where they see these beings that are accompanied with orbs of light, or they watch them just dissolve?
Or portals. Those they actually say, you know, they're seeing these lights and these things are coming out of them. That's happened multiple times now with people.
And we don't call those Bigfoot. Because we are doing our best within the community to compartmentalize, to leave the flesh and blood Bigfoot stuff in the flesh and blood Bigfoot bin. But then when we get crossover and correlation, then we do what we need to with that data. But then we also have this other bin where
you've heard this before, right?
Right? Sounds familiar? Well, we had this other bin way before the government. And we had this bin for other, which was anomalous sightings, which involved balls of light, which involved different unexplained phenomena beyond
high strangeness.
Yeah,
it's a buzzword now, but it wasn't. Not really.
Yeah, it wasn't back then. So, hey, Night Dewey, love you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, again. Dewey, before you go, you should be getting a package in the mail.
Sweet. So yeah, that was Bigfoot, in my opinion. What we call Sasquatch is there's one side of the coin that is flesh and blood, and there's one side of the coin that is something entirely different, that is likely a misidentification. And Ron very aptly puts it that it very well could be a screen memory.
I think it's a mimic or a screen memory. In some cases, I don't think people are seeing exactly what they're thinking they're seeing. We've proven at this point that there is a intelligence out there that has the ability to manipulate what we see and hear and sense in all aspects. And to me, it's just a modality of contact, or one of those. And that doesn't mean all. I'm not saying every single Bigfoot sighting is, you know, this other. No, there isn't, because some of these things sound exactly like what you would expect. Some of these things have been filmed. Yeah. I can't deny those, like the Patterson Gimlin film, a great example. That's
right there.
That looks like an actual physical creature. What we saw that night out at your farm, for all intents and purposes, could have been a physical creature if it were not for all the other weird stuff that happened.
And then the stuff that happened with Stan Gordon. The Stan Gordon went and recorded.
Oh yeah, up there on the ridge.
Were wild.
Yeah.
You had descriptions of creatures that had arms down nearly to their ankles, floating, levitating, glowing lights, glowing eyes, boarding spacecraft.
Oh, and no, you probably wouldn't slow anyone down because we're not really, it's not strenuous at all. And a lot of the actual training stuff, it's right there in the camp. Yep. So you don't
right around the shelter the whole day.
Yeah, you don't go anywhere until later in the evening. Yeah. And that's optional. I mean, we typically we'll take, we'll have like 20 people show up for a workshop and maybe 10 will go out with us.
That's great.
So yeah, it's low, but the ones that do go, they have a good time. It's a lot of fun. And this time we got night vision stuff, so it's going to be a lot of fun out there in those woods.
So yeah, Sarah, hopefully that answered a little bit of what we think Bigfoot is. We do think that there is a creature that's out there that is a very real creature, but we also believe there is other things happening in the woods that are unexplained. And these two entities just so happen to be inhabiting the same space at the same time. So that's why every time we go out, I've said this 1,000 times now, I feel like a broken record. When we're looking for subject A, 9 times out of 10, subject B will show its head.
You know what's funny? I was watching Beyond Skinwalker Ranch this week. I know a lot of people think that you shouldn't watch these, that they're all made up. But I'm going to swear to you right now, they are recording the exact same validations, pretty much note for note, as to what we have personally observed since 2020. And I can't say that that's made up when that's happening. But what I found really amazing is they actually went out looking for this one thing. They were looking for, they were investigating cattle mutilations on this one ranch. And they ended up finding this strange area that was emanating these high EMF readings. And there's been like multiple people died on this one bridge and whatnot. But the funny thing is, it was literally what you just said. They went out looking for this one thing and something switched the channel, just like what happened with us ever since we started this. Every time we go out in the field and we're looking for this one thing, it seems like we get led away. And you can watch that. You can watch that in the Wild and Weird Con incident. That whole report even talks about that. So yeah, I mean, these things do happen. So I don't know what they are. I mean, I'm not going to make any claims as to knowing exactly what we got. All we're doing is just catching data.
Yep, and we go where the data leads, not the other way around.
Someone from Facebook is being funny.
I think that's our good friend over there, Ada.
That's funny. You're funny.
Ada's going to be there.
Yeah, I know. That was, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be a fun. I mean, it's going to be a lot of blast, and you never know. I mean, it's hard to tell what we'll see out there in those woods. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's rain or shine. We're under a really big shelter. I got a shelter that'll fit 60 to 80 people. And so rain or shine, we're going to be there. And it's, honest to God, like I kind of hope, this is just me, I hope it gets a little wet.
A little drizzle is always good when you're looking for Bigfoot.
Yep.
Every time we've had a good positive experience, it's been with rain or right after a rain. That's the truth.
Almost like it's directly associated.
Yep. And who knows, it may be, that's just another data set that we've observed.
Yeah.
But it never stops us when it comes to weather, unless it's freezing.
I think it was did the other on know what they were, because we've erased that one from existence. And he probably did know what they were.
It's all taken care of, man. It's all, but I will go over this real quick. And you know what? There's enough people here. I guess we can do a little obelisk session real quick.
Yeah, we'll do a quick obelisk session.
Really quick. But I do want to go over this. Next month, I will be at the St. Albans the St. Albans Historical Society thing, because we just did that. That's what we were doing last night. So the next one I'll be there. And I know it's been said, I'm going to be doing this thing about aliens or whatnot. You're going to find out a little more than just aliens. Let's just put it that way. So it's a very complicated, very, you're going to like it. That's what I'm going to say. You're going to like it. Bring a notebook.
I'm going to try to be there. I won't be speaking. Ron will be doing all that, but I'm going to try to make it to that one.
Bring a notebook. It's going to be really cool. and there's a lot of research. So you're really going to like it, and you're going to definitely learn some things. And again, not there to make anyone believe. Don't really care if you believe. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to present data and let you guys make up your own mind, and that's what we do. So I really hope you make it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And with that said, I think it's time that we fire up the Ovilus. And we're not going to do the breaking reality version tonight. We'll just do the normal.
I have the first question for all of us.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Ovilus on.
Okay. Let's see if I got a volume on this thing. I was playing with this thing earlier, so hopefully. Okay, I think it's on. I think we're good. All right, Ovilus is on and running.
So who's got the first question up?
I'll go ahead and ask mine. Joe, is that your squash stick, or are you just happy to see everyone?
He's waiting for that.
Question.
He's waiting for that.
You're gonna get popped with that thing on July.
Probably.
Just going around the woods, banging it around.
That's right, man. We were all wrong about what wood knocks are.
I got geek. I don't know if you guys heard that or not.
You got geek, yeah. You
As
nailed
soon as
that
you said that, it said geek. So I'd say that's a validation.
Kelly says up at the first word is Legion.
No, it was geek. It was
Yeah.
geek, and it called them out for what they are.
Pretty broad stroke for this room, you know.
Oh, man.
This is some good stuff. You guys are awesome. Hey, y'all, while the Ovilus is talking, I thought I'd share this with you. I just got this in the mail today. This is Eric's latest piece.
Isn't that supposed to be his last?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. There's two of them, and this is book one. The other one hasn't come yet. So this is, the gods were astronauts, the extraterrestrial identity of the old gods revealed to Eric von Daniken. And yeah, he's saying this could be his last one. So can't wait to dig into that.
I remember reading
Telepathy.
Okay. Okay, Adam, use telepathy. I think you're supposed to use telepathy.
That's me. Shut up.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what that's telepathy. What that means. Maybe
We're going to have a great time at the Bigfoot workshop.
It's a good question.
Did Lee Harvey Oswald act?
So here's the thing. We just called you a geek again. That's too geek. Now that's rare. I'm not even gonna
that frequency.
I'm not gonna lie about this. That measure. So I'm not gonna lie about this.
Measuring tracks at the Bigfoot workshop.
Well, we'll definitely be measuring tracks at the Bigfoot workshop. You need to get me the track so I can get that cut out.
That's right. I got the wood upstairs. I need to get that done.
You got to get that cut out so I can make us a print so these guys can cast and take home their very own Wild and Weird
100
workshop cast. It's not 100. No, it's not 100.
Is there an address in the Nitro area with 100?
Plenty.
Probably.
Pat said that's fair. The Ovilus is not taking any crap this evening.
It's not. It's not. Where should we investigate next? That's good. I mean, you can pretty much just walk down the street down in Nitro and you're probably going to bump into something.
He's using telepathy right now, swearing as usual.
Yep. I can feel it from here. Wow, it's quiet tonight.
If anyone wants to say anything to Zakia, say the word irregardless.
I wish I had crickets to impose
I
here.
know, right? We could put them in right here.
Capital E.
Capital E.
Capital E.
Not lowercase e. Capital E. So,
Remove.
okay. Well, who's got a capital E? I'm going to remove them. Hang on.
Remove all the capital E's from your house, guys.
Yeah, everybody, make sure that you've removed all the capital E's from your house. I don't know
Maybe
what
we're
that means.
supposed to take E.
Remove.
Maybe I need to start signing my name with just J-O because I always do capital J, little O, big E.
That's probably right. Yeah, that makes sense. That checks.
Kelly said cat delivery.
Cat delivery. That's funny. Wow. You know, sometimes I really like it when you do have the spirit box session, because
When will the government stop lying to us?
there's something to listen to at least.
As long as there's people.
Pretty much. As long as there's people. I like that.
It's going to call you a geek again, Pat.
Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah,
It's
getting
just,
quiet and then active and then bloop.
yeah. It's very strange what it's doing exactly. I'm not sure.
It's thinking.
Oh, that's not good. If that thing's thinking.
AI is now in the
Oh no.
made it into the obelisk.
No, we can't have that.
What kind of cat were we talking to at the museum last night?
Oh, that might
Oh,
have been
you go. That's something you guys forgot to talk
Yeah, we
about.
forgot to bring that up.
Very weird.
Cat,
Extremely
Or dog.
weird.
because the other ghost box said bark.
Well, I went over to the table and I just looked at this meter that was laying there that no one was looking at, and it's reading 120 milligauss. Yes, you heard me right. 120 milligauss.
That's why the cat was a ghost.
And I'm like, why does this thing say 120 milligauss? Oh, I don't know. Why? It says 130 now. It says 140. When I would call it out, it'd go to the next 10.
Strange.
It was definitely
Really
strange.
strange.
So 140 milligauss, and then it started going back down, but it didn't go any lower than 120. And they're like, "Oh, it's probably the cat." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So brief them on the cat, Joe.
So the cat, as we were talking about the cat, and then started talking about cats, every time we mentioned the word cat or made cat noises, it went up, and the reading kept getting higher. And then when we started talking to the cat like a cat, it was on your lap, it went bonkers.
So, yeah. Now, I
It
don't
was really
know
weird.
what to say about that one, and I don't think any cameras were running at the time that happened, unfortunately. But it was definitely weird, and it shouldn't have happened. And it was right at the base table. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's the weirder part. Everybody else is out there doing their thing, but here at the table, with all the equipment, there's a piece of equipment sitting there just reading something, and apparently it had to do with cats.
So, Adam, was that cat that we saw at the church afterwards? Do you think that was a ghost cat?
Yeah, I
Oh,
was going to bring that up.
good
Yeah.
Lord. You saw a cat?
Yeah.
There was a cat across the street at that church.
Oh wow!
I mean, it could have been a regular cat. Let's be real, but that's odd.
Tony says, "Wait, can we hear a replay of the cat noises you made? For science." That was a one and done, brother. One and
That's
done.
a black and white.
So what
We
did the
got-
cat look like?
Black and white.
Black and white.
It was a trip. Like the more you sat and talked to it, and then all of a sudden the bark thing came. I was like, "Are you a dog?" And I started doing that, and it started going up again.
Oh, that's just weird.
Yeah, it was really bizarre.
That is
Dog
really.
boy or a boy dog?
What is it?
You'll have to ask Adam about that.
What?
I embarrassed myself so bad last night. I was trying to say boy dog, and I said dog boy. And for some reason,
Oh
it was
Lord, you
hilarious.
created a new one. She created a new one, guys.
Yep.
Pat says I thought I filmed some of it, but you would still have to had the lapel mic on. Yeah, I didn't have the lapel on. Ron had it. Maybe they want a pet, or maybe
I
it was.
mean, maybe.
They used pets during World War II.
They did.
World War I. I know they had dogs. I don't know if they had cats or anything.
Not that I'm aware of.
Mousing.
Yeah. But
Opnik followed us. It's all of it. There's so many people
Yeah,
out there.
Opnik was there.
he was bored.
Angie says, "Dog boy is dog man's puppy." Pat says all they want are ear scratches.
Nah.
Oh man, well guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's been a great show. Teresa, thanks for joining us. It's been a blast. Adam, as always, for both of you now, you're both reoccurring guests here on the live. We appreciate each of you for coming on and spending the time. Tony has got a very valid question. Who is Dog Mom? And Ron has been abducted once again. Ron is gone. What is happening? Oh man. Hey, everybody, thanks again for hanging out with us for another live edition of Wild and Weird Radio. This episode, it doesn't get any wilder or weirder than this. I promise you that. Oh, Ron's back. Which Ron do we have? Please tell me he's not frozen.
No.
Okay, I was hoping you were. That was going to be the creepiest thing in the world. So, then it's always fun. You never know what to expect on a live show, and today goes to prove that. It's been fun. Tons of technical difficulties, but we made it through it. So again, thank you to everybody.
Hey, they're cutting your power again because we can't.
They are?
Yeah, you were just. Blah, 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 blah. So
Jeez.
try that again. You might want to try that again.
Thank you, every one of you guys that hung out with us during the technical difficulties that we experienced tonight. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Again, a huge shout out to James Boggs. Obviously, Adam Good. You guys are the sponsors. And you've kept this show rolling for eons and eons to come. And remember, there are still a few slots left for the Bigfoot Workshop. If you're at all interested in coming, that is July 12th. It's Canola State Forest. Once you pay on the website, we will send you all the details you need. Dinner's included. You're gonna get a goodie bag. There's gonna be prizes. There's all kinds of stuff going on, guys. It's an absolute blast. If you think these live shows are funny, just hang tight. It's gonna be even goofier because they're gonna be stuck with us for hours. And but it's all good stuff. We'll go out in the forest and you're going to get to see things from a naturalist perspective. You're not just going to learn things about Bigfoot. I'm going to teach you things that's about that forest, why that forest is important, what makes that forest a targeted area for us to research, things of that nature. So that way you can be prepared when you go out into an area to pick a spot to go do research. You know what to look for. You know what makes good habitat and puts you off at a better step than most.
Yeah, and with the addition of Glenn, you're going to get some really valuable places.
Yeah. With having Glenn there, it's just going to be
Lose.
What?
It said lose. So I think it's saying Glenn's a loser.
Glenn's a loser.
Which is really funny if you think about that.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, that one's going to be fun. Then we've got Wood Booger Jamboree coming up. August the 12th, that's over at Racine Park or John Slack Park, whichever one you want to call it. We're going to be doing a school supplies drive for the local schools. Definitely, if you're coming, bring out some colored pencils, bring out pencils, paper, printer paper, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be donating all of that straight to the local schools to help them out. There's 3 schools right there in that immediate area, so we're trying to help them out as best we can. If you want to bring book bags full of goodies, get on it.
Yeah, anything for the kids.
Yeah. It's all for the kids. It's going to be a big back to school bash. We're excited to be helping out. Then we've got what else? Oh yeah, Ron's going to be over at Kecksburg, and then
I didn't do that one, but yeah,
Kecksburg's what's the date for Kecksburg?
Kecksburg is July.
It's like 20.
Yeah, something.
Second, 23rd.
I can't remember. I'll be honest.
July
with you.
22nd, 23rd is
Just
Kecksburg.
watch the
Ron up
page.
there. I'm going to be at my kid's birthday party.
Here you go. It's right
There
there.
we go. There we go. So we got July 26th.
26. Is that right?
Yep, July 26th.
No, July 26th is St. Albans.
Oh wait,
thing.
that's your thing. July 21st,
To the
23rd is Kecksburg.
There you go.
There we go. Then Ron is going to be speaking at the St. Albans Paranormal Discussion Group on the 26th.
Yeah.
Then August 4th, we've got Hawking Hills.
Hills.
August 19th, Cryptid Bash. Then September 9th, let's make the banner fly.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be huge, guys. It's really gonna be huge.
There's fantastic guest speakers coming, a ton of vendors. It's been sold out since March. We've got a lot of great stuff going on there. There's going to be very timely lectures. Very timely lectures, I think.
I think that's the best way to put that. Timely lectures.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So please, everyone who can make it out, please do so. And don't forget, you can also catch us over at Mysticon later in the year.
Yep.
What is that? November, right? Somewhere in November.
I think it's October or November.
I think it's November.
Mysticon is October 7th.
October 7th. There you go. I was so wrong.
Yes.
I was completely wrong. So, yeah, you'll catch us there. And I think that's everything for this week, right? Is that all of it?
Well, you got mid-October, October 15th, 14th, 15th. We're going to be at Thunder in the Mountains.
I forgot about the powwow. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, we're going to be at the powwow. We were invited to the powwow. 2 days. 2 days.
You're back underwater, Joe.
He is. He's totally underwater.
So
he was saying that it'll be 2 days at the powwow.
Yep. James says he'll be there unless he's got jury duty that day. Fingers crossed. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us. It's been a great show. Thanks to the guests.
Us.
Thanks for the super chats. Everybody's awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody, we love you. And remember, if you're ever investigating the Nitro War Museum, make sure to give good belly rubs. The meter will go crazy. Stay wild and weird, everybody.